I'm so 90s, want me to show proof? I'm 90s like all Helga wanted for Christmas, Radino's Pomoni snow boots. 90s like I dropped a screw in the tuna, like Stoop Kid finally left the stoop. Hallelujah, like rockin' horse, wood chairs, it could get took there. Way back to elementary with scholastic book fairs, field days, meal trays, box lunch with grapes. Every Friday night we went to rent blockbuster tapes. When Ed and Eddie really had us wanting to scam for a quarter. True supporter of the Alice Wonderland. And I'm checking in right now. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's happening, man? It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
It's been last night.
You know, East Coast time and Western time, that's a big time difference, you know.
But yeah, 3 hours. So I can't believe we made it. We here.
It's finally time to get this thing started, man. Finally finna jump it off. This is the first, wait, drum roll. Retro round table.
And so basically, it was my buddy's idea to do the podcast, as you know. But I came up with the idea of, you know, doing something that was related to the 90s, so to speak, kind of a nostalgic road trip, so to speak.
Hence the Cartoon Network shirt I got on right here.
Oh, man, you know what? I should have brought some memorabilia or something, man.
I literally just thought about it about 20 minutes ago. So I said, what better way to pop it off than to have this shirt on right here?
You know what, man? Let me see if there's something in my gallery that's 90s. Well, then again, I got plenty of 90s stuff in my gallery.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But yeah, basically what it is we're going to be talking about different topics from back in the day. You know, TV shows, movies, people. Trust me, we got a whole format down, and I figured, you know, for the pilot, we just go through each one, or at least what we have so far, because I'm sure we're going to come up with more material later.
And if you guys have any requests on what you want us to touch on, if we miss anything, go ahead and let us know. Comment, do whatever you do, because we're going to try to stream this out everywhere. So, yeah, it's basically just for, like, it's for everybody, but our main focus is for, you know, 90s babies like us.
Yeah, you know, from 1990 on to 1999, and we do hit a little bit into 2000, so, you know.
Just a tad bit.
Yeah, roughly. Oh, man. So what are some topics we'd like to discuss? Anything you wanted to bring up before we begin?
So I know that we're talking about, you know, kind of diving in with the meat potatoes, you know, the big three. And for us, the big three would be, of course, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network.
Right.
And so when a lot of people think of Disney, you know, they think of like Disney movies, Aladdin, Mulan, and all that good stuff, which is cool. But as far as TV, Disney Channel did kind of pave the way for a lot of TV shows that we're seeing today. A lot of TV shows, especially shows aimed towards like teens and kids, kind of copy the format. But yeah, we're gonna dive into all that and get into all that.
We got the three. We got the defunct channels like WB Kids, Fox Kids, Fox Family, Fox ABC. I said Fox ABC. But yeah, we got defunct channels. We got, let me see, I got a whole list. You know, like my friend was saying, movies, Movie Mania. We're going to talk about different Disney classics, non-Disney classics, stuff like that. I even made up something particular that I definitely want to go into. It's going to be called Retro Roll Call, rather, where we bring up some honorable mentions, great animators, great voiceover actors, just anybody that helped contribute to pave the way to the golden era, so to speak.
Like the woman who played Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog, she passed recently, I think about a week ago. She's definitely going to be mentioned. So y'all stay tuned for that, especially if you're fans of Courage. So
yeah, Thea White. That was her name. Played Muriel.
Not either, but she's definitely the ones who was just her character in general. I don't know what else she played. I just know her as Muriel Beggs. So that was the main character right there.
Trust me, I got a whole list of different icons from that generation, like Tara Strong and Jim Cummings, Cree Summers, just a whole list of them. Just just a lot of good talent that, I felt really helped, shape what we were into back in the day when we were in the 90s.
And there was a lot of stuff that pretty much is like built us up in the 90s. Like, if y'all out there, y'all watching and listening, whatever you're doing, if you were fortunate enough to grow up with cable, even if y'all didn't, you guys had PBS Kids, and I'm sure you're familiar with
Right.
Arthur and Sesame
Yep.
Street and all that good stuff. But if you were fortunate enough to grow up with cable, you know how it was. You can't say that now versus back then. You can sit there and watch a whole TV, because right now you can't sit here and watch a whole TV show without at least looking at your phone, glancing at it a few times, and getting wrapped up in your social media. Back then, all we had was the TV. All we had were the video games. You know.
You know what I'm saying? We were advanced in a certain way. We're just not as advanced as today, because now you can stream TV anywhere, anytime. You could take TV with you. Back in the day, it's just if there was a TV, you had it. If you went to a hotel, just pray that they had cable, or you didn't have to pay extra for it. I'm just saying, I work at a hotel myself right now, so.
It's so many factors. It just falls into like all the nostalgias. It's like, consciously, I think shows these 90s games, everything 90s pretty much just like subconsciously built us into who we are today, whether we want to admit it or not. Because, I'm still a kid at heart. I still got my Cartoon Network shirt. My favorite shirt is that Ed, Eddie shirt I have in the closet. That's my favorite.
Yes. Ed, and Eddie. We're definitely going to be covering specific shows such as Ed, and Eddie.
Episode right there. There's so many. There's so much out as far as there is, man. Like, people
trust me. To me, it was like them, Hey Arnold, and other like kids, like all that. They were kind of the way that they portrayed on their shows was kind of how we lived life every day, just with a comedic twist. With cartoons, like with the Ed, they were always scamming and coming up with these different things. They're actually pretty entrepreneurial, especially Eddie, because all these ideas he came up with.
I had the mind power and the will he had when I was a kid. Instead of doing lemonade stands and selling candy, I would have been building cardboard cities and stuff like that out there, just going crazy, scamming kids for quarter. Not scamming them, but my stuff.
Yeah. Trust me, I understand. I was lucky if I was going outside as a kid, really.
Man, I'm such an insider as a kid that it's crazy. It's like, I don't even remember when I really started going outside like that.
When we had a toy set outside, the little swing set that you'd buy for the yard, it came with the little slide, and you got the swings, and then the little, it was a swing that you sit on, and then, well, we stood on it from time to time, but, even though we weren't supposed to. But,
like one of those,
like that.
I forgot what you call them. The Goodyear?
You know what? I think Goodyear, it was either Goodyear or Fisher Price. At Fisher Price, they did a lot of things you could do. They had Jeeps, they had toys, they had, little basketball courts and everything. I mean, I never got good at it, obviously. But
learn all things. Like, Fisher Price, like, they went all out for kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shoot. We even mentioned toys earlier, Barbie, she was her own brand, as you know. I personally joke. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm telling you.
But it was a good time back then.
It was, man. Just like thinking about it is kind of just like, it's making my mind just like scroll through memory lane. Cause I have a whole song about it. Like, for y'all who aren't familiar, I go by Ricky Runnit. I make music, and I have a song called Nostalgia that's basically pinpointing what we're doing here right now. So it's just like taking a little trip back to the 90s, because it's more than just like a podcast to us. It's basically just like kind of reliving.
Yeah, reliving our childhood, man. Trust me, I call it the nostalgic 90s myself, as our tagline that we came up with for this podcast, taking a road trip down the nostalgic 90s, it just fits. Trust me, yeah. That was the first thing that came to mind when I thought about it, like I said, anything retro, like toys, games, excuse me, you know, everything we watched on TV. It was just a different time back then, you
It
know?
was. It was like, I don't know, it's just like you were waiting to get home. I mean, you had friends at school and everything, but you were just waiting to get home from school so you could catch your favorite shows before your bedtime. You know, you had a certain lineup. You knew what shows were coming on at what time back then.
Actually,
They just kind
time
of
flies.
bundle everything together. So it's just like,
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know how these
Yeah, you
they
right
do
there.
it. They could
I
just,
mean, yeah, that's basically what it is. You know, they watch whatever they want to watch. They, you know, like I said, cable's even going out of style with streaming and the Fire Stick. I have a Fire Stick myself, you
I
know.
cable. Call me old school. I mean, I got Hulu and Netflix, but you know, I still got to keep my cable just in case.
Yeah, I would have my cable, you know, if it weren't for that bill. Let's put it like that. If it weren't for the bill.
That cable bill, that's nice. But
I'm talking
it's
about you. That's why.
is you can like kind of be updated and keep in touch on like what the new generation's watching, even though most of it's not really worth watching in the first place. But to these kids, the shows that they have now, they might have the same symbolic or the same type of feeling. They give them the same type of feeling that the shows gave us when we were coming up. So I can't really
Yeah.
shows right now, but I can say, coming from my mindset and probably yours too, 90s cartoons versus these new age 2010s and so on cartoons, can nothing hold a candle to 90s cartoons. I'm just gonna say
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, each generation it hits differently, you know. And heck, even when we were in the '90s, they had shows that played like all the way back from what the '30s, the '20s, like Looney Tunes and Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. You know, hey, it made you feel like you were there at that time because even Scooby Doo, my dad grew up on Scooby Doo,
But it
so
was
you know.
called Do Where Are You? They put out
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just one, the original, and then all the rest that came along. You know, there were a few continuations or reboots or whatever that I got into, but you know, after a certain while, it kind of cut off for me personally.
yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like you can only revamp a show to a certain extent. Like it's certain shows
Right.
you shouldn't even touch. Like I feel like Ed, Ed and Eddie for one, that shouldn't be touched. Hey Arnold, it was kind of a stretch with that Jungle movie, but I think they kind of pulled that off. Rocco's Modern
Yeah.
Life, they kept the same animation style, so I'm thankful for that. If you keep the same animation style and keep the same writers and you plan on doing the revamp, I'm all for it. As long as y'all have that same humor and y'all keep that same writing style. Don't try to switch it up to appeal to the new generation, because that's how a lot of shows go downhill. Like they revamped the Powerpuff Girls, and it was trash.
Oh yeah, you know what? Well, I guess that's one way to put it. Yeah. But I understand where you're going, you know, because it hits differently, you know, when they do revamps and reboots, and you want to hit that like original magic, you know. Like I always used to say, like when you're watching a movie in the theater, you know, same thing with all the shows we grew up on watching TV and whatnot, you know. If it hits the same, then when you bring it back, it's kind of like you never left to begin with.
Exactly. That's what it feels like. As long as they don't change it up too much. Like this new Rugrat, I didn't even bother to give it a chance. I didn't even watch it because I was so disappointed with the animation style that I feel like I wouldn't even be able to get into it even if I tried.
Yeah, like I said, it changed like too much. Like I understand, you know, change is something that just happens in life, you
It's
know. Yeah, it's hit and miss. 'Cause sometimes with some changes, it could be better, but then at the same time, you just don't want to lose that original, you know, that original touch that got you attracted to the show in the first place, so to speak.
exactly. And I think that's what some of these
Yeah.
writers fail to realize when they step down from their podium and they let a new writer take over, or they hire a new staff. It's all about the writers at the end of the day. Because even if
Right, just the
they grew up
people
watching,
who create.
who's to say they have that same type of pen style, or they have the same type of, mindset when it comes to making a storyline. I wouldn't
Right. Same.
board Ed, Ed and Eddie revamp. I think they should leave it where it is at the big picture show. Just cut it off. Because
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm saying, you
love it.
know.
Like, that was our gym right there. Like our gym was Ed, Ed and Eddie. Our gym was Hey Arnold. Doug,
Yeah.
taking those and just making them into something different, it's nah.
Yeah.
That's a no-go for me.
Like I said, kind of just it ruins the original. Well, maybe not so much as ruin. It just kind of, it doesn't. It just changes things. Maybe sometimes it's like hit and miss with some new things they do, but other things it's like, yeah, it's not that same,
Yeah.
same type that I grew up on. It just wouldn't resonate with me the same way as the original did.
It's like what my
Like,
dad was about, because he's a big fan of Boys to Men. All their albums leading up to the last album they put out back in like 2010, 2011, maybe it was 2015. But all I remember is he said the last album they put out was called Collide, and it was nothing but them with auto tune on their voices. And that's not Boys to Men. That was never their style. But they're trying to appeal to this new culture and thinking that they're going to be better and think they're going to have that same style and that same flavor with it. But no, because even if it is like the same style, it gets overshadowed by all the auto tune. And to me, these new shows are nothing but auto tune. You get some
yeah,
out of it. Like Adventure Time,
yeah.
I like that show. I like Adventure Time. I was feeling it. Regular show, I was feeling that show. It's a couple select few. But for the main part, maybe it doesn't supposed to appeal to me anymore because I'm an adult, but still, even when I watch some of these cartoons we used to watch, I still get that feeling like I'm still entertained even as an adult because they have adult plot lines. They aren't too zany, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even looking back as an adult, I can even look at it differently because, a lot of things back then as a kid you didn't think of, but now that you're a little older, a little smarter, you understand things a little bit better. Like even then, you still get that same appreciation for it, and now that you're older, you can kind of touch on things that you might have missed or things that, just, as a kid you wouldn't think of.
It was a few of those. It was
Oh yeah,
definitely.
trust me. Animaniacs, that's one that they just brought back. I got season 1 somewhere. It should be what? Oh, it's called Volume 1, since we're doing
We
little
go.
throwbacks and whatnot. Excuse the lighting and whatnot. Just want to make sure you can see my face. But yeah, stuff like that,
That
back in the day.
one, I have Ed,
Like,
and Ed. I don't know if it's season 1 or volume 1. So that's like I think it's season 1.
yeah,
I don't even know what the difference is when they go by volumes or go by seasons. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know.
they just pick with volumes. They pick specific episodes that may or may not necessarily be in the same order, but with seasons, they play it for every, you know, the start of the season to the end of the season in the particular order that they were aired or the way they were supposed to be produced.
See,
That's really the difference between the two. Like Goof Troop, I got volumes 1 and 2 back here. Like I got a whole freaking library if I could, you know. Yeah, I got a freaking library. Most of this stuff is 90s everything. Garfield's in there, Dragon Ball Z's in there. Hey Arnold's up in the corner, stuff like that. You
oh
know.
man,
Yeah, trust me when I say I'm definitely. Now I gotta get my camera back. Excuse me. There we go. Yeah, I'm definitely one of the '90s kids as far as television is concerned, at
you
least.
may build a '90s time capsule with like everything '90s in there.
That's what I'm saying too. I mean, hey, and this is kind of what this is. Kind of, 2021. Wow, we're almost like 30 years later, we open up that time capsule again and get to reminisce about some good things. And that's kind of what I was thinking we would do with this round table. I wish we could be in person so it could be an actual round table.
Yeah, but
And,
working on it. We're working on it. We're in 2 different states right now, but everything is going to come together. We're going to have better technology, better quality in our videos. This is just a trial and run. This is our pilot
yeah,
episode. So, we're just kicking this thing off. But in the future, we're going to have a nice little theme song. I'm not going to tell you everything that we're doing. I want to surprise y'all with like a few things.
yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, like, it's today basically just kind of an overview of what this podcast is generally going to be about. Because, like I said, it's mostly 90s. But like I said, we do cover other stuff from different generations. Because like I said before, there's a lot of stuff that was playing in the 90s that was even older than we were. back in the day. So, it's definitely a bunch of mentionables, even some unsungs, different topics.
Yeah, we were up for some hours the other day, just like thinking about shows that we forgot about, and it's amazing how like there were so many shows that you can like remember yourself watching as a kid, but you don't really remember it until you see a picture, an image, or until you hear the theme song. And it's like, that,
Wow, yeah, I get that same feeling. Trust me.
I'm still wondering what shows we missed because we went over like pretty much like all of the good night, at least the ones worth mentioning.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, when we were preparing for this, like I was making a list of different shows and different topics that would come up, and like more and more I dove into it, like the more and more different ideas came out just for how we could do things. Like I said, the you know retro roll call, retro recall, everything, stuff like that, different shows. And we even came up with different types of things we can do, like verses, and like, we would compare the new breed to the original, or we could do like, they did a recent Space Jam. We could compare
I
the
still did.
original Space Jam. Yeah, I saw it. I liked it.
That's gonna be
You
my
know,
time, and I'm gonna go see that movie on my next off day. I work this weekend, so hopefully, like I get a Monday or Tuesday off, and I'm gonna go ahead and see it so we can kind of, go over. Well, you told me pretty much like the overview of it, so I got a good understanding from that. But it's still like one of those things. 'Cause I know it's like a 2 hour plus movie, so it's something I want to see for myself too. Make my own assessment, and we can kind of just like compare. Cause I feel like even though I haven't seen it, it can't touch the first Space Jam. But that's just me being a '90s guy.
yeah, I mean, they always say, the classics, the remakes are never better than the classics because, they did a lot of remakes. What, 2020, they did Aladdin. They had Will Smith in it. They had The Lion King. They even
Oh,
got the original James Earl Jones to play Mufasa again.
that
That
was
was pretty cool.
legendary. Surprised that man's still alive. No disrespect, but that man's got to be.
No, no. I'm actually glad because, the lady who would play Sarabi had died recently. I don't know if you saw in social media, but yeah, I think she died either this year or sometime last year. And I was like, wow, it's like, yeah, that's why I wanted to do the retro roll call because there are so many good names out there that really, people like one that we brought up the whole time was like Tex Avery,
Oh, he paved the
one of
way
the
for cartoons.
yeah, great animators, and people like Chuck Jones, people
Yep.
like Walt Disney, of course, just names, and industry people that you may or may not know that really kind of helped build that 90s, that golden era, as we like to call it.
And Spielberg, I thought he was just a film director. I had no idea he was behind Freakazoid. He was behind Animaniacs. That's still
Yeah,
like
yeah,
blowing my mind right now. I knew he was
yep.
and all that stuff, of course, but just to
Yeah, he
think,
did Animaniacs, everything.
and Tiny Toons too, didn't it?
Yeah, like I said, he did movies and theater, and a lot of his movies, they were really good. We look at them the same way, we would look at the Disney classics, just one of those like movies like Land Before Time, like Five Goes West or Balto,
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like that was all Spielberg,
that's
you
just.
know? Yeah, trust me, between us, we talk for hours and hours about all the different content and all the concepts and all the nostalgia of topics that we could talk about on this podcast. And my God, it's just like,
Oh, y'all are in for a treat for real because we got so much to cover.
you
And this is
got that right.
the start of the episode. This is just like you said, an overview. So imagine when we
Yeah.
really dig deep into this and you guys get like that feel, it'll be like you're actually back in 1995 just watching all that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, all that long chain of spinoffs that came off, in the shows today, like they're doing a reboot of iCarly,
I gave it
stuff like that.
a chance. It was decent.
Yeah,
It was more for adults, but it was actually pretty good. Like I give them that. I really,
like I said, you know, when we were younger, our shows, like we started with all that, and you know, that was 1990, what, four?
that what
Yeah,
yeah, it was 94, I believe.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we were at the start of that long train of different, you know, spinoffs that, you know, Dan Snyder we were talking about the
Yes.
other day, you know, even with all the controversy, like he's still contributed a lot to Nickelodeon and the
Oh,
different shows and
definitely.
whatnot.
Because I want to address that controversy too. I don't know if it's real or not, but I want to do some more thorough research and see if it's real, man. That's really gonna like break my heart because he brought us some of the best shows. It's a
Yeah, trust me.
foot obsession. I hope it's not. I hope it's not the case.
Yeah,
They already got Bill
I hope so too.
and too, man.
Oh my God, yeah, like Bill Cosby. Like I said, so many names. I mean, and we were just talking about cartoons. Like we haven't even touched into live action shows. Well, I
Definitely.
mean, technically we have with all that Nickelodeon, but I'm just saying, you know, as far as '90s kids and everything, they had cartoons, and then they had the live shows that would entertain you. Stuff like, you know, mostly between with cartoons, again, the big three, but with live action, it was mostly Nickelodeon and Disney that
Yeah.
did the live action shows and whatnot, like all that and Keenan and Kel and stuff
Oh,
you can find on Paramount Plus,
oh, yeah.
or you could
All of
do,
some of it on Hulu actually.
yeah, Hulu, Paramount Plus, like all these streaming apps, they're bringing back the old stuff as well as, you know, putting all the new stuff in. So, you
This,
know, like I said, it's a whole different time period. Like we had to catch our shows. Like I
yeah.
said, come 8 o'clock, you know, you
We
was in
didn't
front of that
record
TV or you missed out.
VHS tapes, so we had to record our shows on.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, VHS
Had the fast
again. Yeah,
parts we didn't want to see just to get to our show.
you got that right. Shoot,
Yes.
VHS, CD players, stuff like that. You know, we didn't have the DVD player back in the day. We had the VCR and we had to rewind and pause. And well, of course you can pause and other stuff, but yeah, we didn't have the skip button.
They don't even have Blu-ray is obsolete right now. Nobody even owns a Blu-ray player anymore. Now it's all about streaming.
Oh my God. Yeah, Blu-ray. I mean, I thought, you know, it was gonna be something really fancy. It's just really just
It's just
HD
fancy
DVD.
name.
Yeah, that's really what it is. I really couldn't think of anything else to call it.
It ain't nothing else,
But I'm
man.
gonna get with you. Like I said, all this new technology and technological advances, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm into new stuff. Like my favorite show that's recent, you know, just went off because of COVID was Empire and stuff like that, you know.
Hey,
But
Cookie,
like I
what
said, back
I tell you?
in the day, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They really, Fox really broke, like set the bar with shows like that, you know. Oh yeah, you know what? Fox did a lot of cartoons as well.
Yup.
Again, defunct channels like Fox Kids and WB Kids before it became the CW,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Hey, WB Kid like that though. I can't name cartoons off the top from that channel, but I remember vividly tuning in to WB Kids just for like I think it was right after school, if I'm not mistaken. I come home from
Yep,
school and I
WB.
think Freakazoid would actually be on there, wouldn't it? I think Freakazoid.
Yeah, anything with Warner Brothers. You think of it, Looney Tunes, you know, back when they had the Michigan J Frog as the mascot for
Oh,
WB,
yeah,
you know,
baby.
the little dancing frog with the hat. I'm telling you, that was my guy. When I learned his name, I was like, I'm never going to forget that. But yeah, because I didn't know what to call him growing up. But yeah,
Called him
you
Frog
know, Looney
was
Tunes.
with the top hat on. That's all I remembered about him.
Yeah, they had him. They had Looney Tunes. They had Tiny Toons. I mean, they even had Pokemon up
Oh,
on
they sure did.
WB.
That's one of the verses I'm ready for. The Pokemon versus Digimon thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because trust me, Fox had a couple good shows too, like Digimon, like Monster Ranchers.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
One that I can remember called
Gar-
Bobby's World.
Bobby's World. I
I'm
remember
sorry.
Bobby's World.
Did you say Garfield?
Gargoyles.
Oh, Gargoyles. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Cause yeah, that was. I'm thinking maybe they showed that on. Like I said, I got to do my research and whatnot.
I
But
think
yeah, trust me.
That could have been Disney. Thinking about it.
Yeah, but I mean, they did do, because like I said, Disney, Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon became like the big three, and shows that would kind of play like Doug, for instance, they would transition between channels and stuff like that. I mean, even when you had the defunct channels, it was just more variety that they could spread them out through because they done a lot of Cartoon Network shows on WB.
They
They
did.
did a lot of Fox shows, old Fox shows on Disney or Toon Disney, stuff like that.
Oh, Toon Disney
You
was
know,
like that. A lot of people forget about Toon Disney. I think that's still a thing. They just call it Disney DX or something now. I
yeah,
think.
Disney XD or
Uh, yeah,
yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Because like I said, they even had cut off channels for different within like sister channels for like the big three or
mm,
defunct channels like we said ABC and Fox Family. Those are like weekend channels and whatnot. And I'm trying to think. I just had Boomerang.
Boomerang was.
Boomerang.
Now I remember
That
ABC Family, or was it ABC Kids? It's like on the weekend you could wake up and catch Even Stevens and Lizzie McGuire right afterwards because they were partnered up
I
with Disney.
remember.
So it was just like they played the main shows. They got the most airtime or the most viewers. I think Proud Family was part of that for a little minute.
Yeah, like I said, they had morning blocks when they would do stuff. Like TBS used to play Hanna-Barbera cartoons in the morning. Like that was like an adult channel. But
Yeah,
like I said, when Time Warner had done and bought, rights to different shows on Cartoon Network, they were able to play them on their channel with TBS, like they did, the big three that are still here. Let's put it like that. That are still here because I said we had a variety to choose from back in the day.
we did though. That was the beauty of it, and we had the TV guide back then too.
Oh yeah, TV Guide. Yeah, like I
Remember
said, when
the booklet?
DirecTV came out,
Yeah,
yeah, it was a booklet.
I swear it was in
Yeah,
a booklet before we had it on demand. That's like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, before you could just click on the guide button on your remote. Yeah, you had to buy a TV guide to catch the shows or catch a list of the shows.
I honestly didn't know it cost money. I thought they just sent it to your mailbox every week.
They would come, yeah. If you subscribe to it, then yeah. But then they would sell them in stores, like on the side, with the little magazines that they used to put up. The little short books of different things. And the TV Guide was one of them. So yeah, like I said, if you didn't have a subscription of your own, where they would just send it to you. So
I,
yeah, they would do that for the newspaper. That's pretty much it. Like I said, my how times have changed, haven't they?
you can't even go to the grocery store no more and pull from that little coupon gun anymore. That was my
Yeah, trust me.
grocery store.
Everything's an app now. Let's put it
Yeah.
like that. Everything's an app now. You only have to go to the grocery store. You can Instacart. Yeah.
Now that's just. I mean, it comes in handy because of COVID.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, COVID definitely, but like I said, with different things, like I said, when technology just kind of picked up, like there was a class I took in college about, technological advances and the unforeseen consequences of, those type of advances, like things die out and things become obsolete and whatnot. So,
Quick.
that's kind of just what it is.
That's
I'm sorry,
just
what were
sad.
you saying?
It happened so quick too because remember MySpace was the thing. It seemed like it wasn't even that long ago. Now Facebook is
Yeah.
going out. I mean, I wasn't big on social media to begin with, but just like knowing things died down so quickly. Now everybody's TikToking and doing all these crazy dances, and
Oh my God, TikTok. Oh my God.
I
They
make
got me with that
the
one.
worst mistake of my life.
I mean, like I put it to you like this: I would watch a TikTok, but I can't say that I would actually join because I mean, really, it's only like what a few seconds at best for a video, like a minute or two at best. Like I said, but like you said, yeah, things go out of style so fast. Like they're up to PlayStation 5. You know, even game consoles. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I just got my PS4, like literally last year for my birthday, and Lord, it cost me a pretty penny. Trust me.
PlayStation 4 I got is my girl's. It's not even mine, so that tells you about me. Last PlayStation I owned PS2.
Like I said, and then the game collection got smaller as you know they moved up the ladder. You know what I mean? Like PlayStation 1, you had so many different games just lined up. And, you know, you even had the CDs. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I
You're
said,
breaking out a little bit.
plan on talking about all the different video games and everything.
Right. Different consoles, too.
Different
Like I
consoles.
said, we got what? Sega, Nintendo. They even had the little joystick. I forgot what it's
Oh,
called. But
sorry.
the little, whatchamacallit, where you just had the little button.
Yeah, that's
You had
Atari.
the little round
One button.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, they were that old school back then. That was before my time, unfortunately. But yeah, I know what they're talking about, though.
I think that's when games were simple, and that's how it should have remained. I don't know all these analogs and all these plugins and the online gaming people be doing nowadays. That's not my
Uh,
speed right.
yeah, like I said, I haven't even touched into the online world. Like everybody, what was the name of the game where you could Call of Duty? That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, when that kind of like it became a thing, and then everybody, like every game that they build nowadays. You can go in online and play with people around the world. I mean, it's kind of cool, like social media in a way, but you know, back in the day, like if you wanted to do multiplayer, yeah, everybody had to meet up at the house. You had to have a
With their
house
own,
party on Saturday. Right, right. That's what I'm saying.
that's how it should be. Now you can just talk to somebody on the other in Siberia, like a little 12-year-old boy cussing you out because
And
you're
you don't even know the kid. That's what I'm saying. You don't even know this kid. He's on my team because he was logged in at that time. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know these kids. Your volume kind of went out. I'm sorry, your volume went out. Okay, there you are. I can hear you.
I was saying with the old PlayStation, you can actually like listen to music and everything. You can play your CDs on there.
Right, right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you could do that because me and my sisters, yeah, we would go through my dad's CD collection and listen to stuff when we weren't playing on the game.
I do the same thing. My stepdad had such a dope collection. That's when I first really got into rap like that. And he used to have like Tupac CDs and Stevie Wonder and all that. And PlayStation 2 would actually play PS1 games. So when the PS
Right.
out, I was expecting for the PS3 to play PS2 and PS1. It didn't play either.
That's what I'm saying. I said the exact same thing. That's the only reason why I wanted a PS3 because there weren't that many games on it at the time that I was really, you know, really into. So then when that came out and I couldn't play my PS2 games, I was like, oh my God. I felt so bad because I literally, my sister, we could only afford one new console. So we had to choose as a group. My sister wanted a Wii and whatnot. But I wanted the PS3 so I could play my PS2 games and whatnot. But, you know, maybe we should have gone for the Wii. Maybe we should have gone for the Wii. I don't know. She might watch this later. So if she remembers, hey, I think you might have been right on that one. We should have gone for the Wii. You know, like I
Hey,
said, stuff back then was very
Nintendo never
different. Oh, my God, Nintendo. Yeah, my cousin, he was the one that did Nintendo the most, you know. He had a friend that stayed with him and he owned a Nintendo. So, you know, whenever we visit them, that's when we played Nintendo games. Like I said, with us, it was mostly PlayStation or Sega, which eventually came to the PlayStation anyway. So,
the Sega Genesis was dope. Sega Genesis and Sega Saturn. A lot of
hmm
people know those, but those are like the game changers right there. Everybody
yeah,
thought,
instead of TVs.
but you know,
That's what I'm
Sega.
saying. Even then, you had the cartridges where you had to put them into the whatchamacallit.
Oh,
You
we
know,
got
you didn't have the
bottle.
CD where you
just to make sure.
Yeah, yeah, that was always the cure to fix the broken one. Yeah, you blow on it, even though in the instructions you could read, do not blow on this. That's the first thing everybody did back in the day. Yeah.
Remember how we used to fix our PlayStation games?
Yep.
And just wipe it with our shirts.
Just wipe it right off. Yep. Wipe it right off for alcohol. Yeah, alcohol. Trust me, alcohol used to be the cure for everything back then. So
Scratches on the
never
back.
worked for any of my stuff. I'm sorry, yeah. Like I said, if it was scratched to a certain point, it was done. Yeah. At least if it was for me, so.
That's what I'm saying. If it skips more than twice, I'm done with that game. I don't care if I got a memory card or not. It's a wrap.
Trust me, like I said, man, with me, it got to a point where I would have to hold or stop or open the console, take out the CD, wait for it, then put it back in. Like, there were times where I literally had to flip the thing over just for it to work properly, then flip it back when it started operating. So trust me, I understand the struggle, so to speak. Yeah.
Comes the ingenious of technology too. I was just talking to my girlfriend about this because now it's to the point, it frustrated me at first, but now it's to the point where you can just you can download a game on a PlayStation instead of buying it. But me, personally, I told her I like the feeling of actually holding the game in my hand, which sounds stupid.
Right.
Nothing really beats the feeling of being able to open that case, read the little booklet with the game.
Oh my God, yeah, the booklet.
The booklets were the best, man. Tekken 2
That's
is
what I'm thinking.
part of my favorite theme song.
That was my favorite game. That was the game that we grew up on when we first got the PlayStation. That and Crash Bandicoot.
Oh my God. Man, couldn't nothing match that feeling when you knew you got to the last level. You were scared when you heard that background boss music. That's when you know.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it would start off with your usual, 7 with the original 10. Then you got a middle character. Then you got the sub character, which was hard. Then you got the final boss, which was the hardest. And then it was like, oh my gosh, if you made it through there, you truly earned that unlocked character. And then you had to do special things for other characters, like with Roger, you had to.
Roger was the frog, right? Or the lizard or something?
Roger and Alex, yeah.
That's what
I'm spitting everywhere. Good grace, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I remember my favorite though. No, I don't think Eddie came till Tekken 3.
3.
Not mistaken.
Yeah. Tekken 3. Like I said, I was big on Tekken 2. Now, when Tekken 3 came out, it was really as good, like I said, as everybody made it out to be, but I missed the Tekken 2 characters because that's where I started. Like I said, the first Tekken, I didn't even know it existed. I thought Tekken 2 was just Tekken 2, then 3, then 4. Yeah. Then once you got older and started to, do research, the internet came along and really filled you in with the blanks and everything. Like I said,
my Tekken 2 was like 2 times better because it had more characters. It got more into the backstories than Tekken 1 did. Graphics improved. By those days, the standards, they improved a little bit. So Tekken 2 was just like that game for me. All my family loved it. I used to play in it.
Oh my God, yeah. It was a Tekken tournament back in the day, trust me, in my house. Like I said, Tekken 2 was our start game as far as, when we first got into consoles, like at our house, so to speak. Everybody else, like we would go to their place to play Sega Genesis or something like that. But like I said, when we got ours, trust me, it was Tekken 2, Crash Bandicoot.
Oh,
those were our 2 games.
Naughty Dog games? Oh, those and Spyro?
Oh, my God.
Man.
Yes. That's what I'm saying, yeah. Like those type of games back in the day, they gave you the feeling, I mean, even when you go to school and you thought about it, and if you did school projects, you would think back to stuff that you would like, and it would show up in your work. And then when you got to go home, it was like, oh man, first thing I'm doing, racing right to that TV, plug it, turn that console on, and I just go for hours.
You could literally go for hours on Crash. I was more into Crash than Spyro, to be honest.
Yeah, I was more of a Crash Bandicoot guy myself. Like I said, it took a grip for us to really complete You know what I mean? We did it as a team, so to speak, when we did Crash Bandicoot, stuff like that. 'Cause like I
That's
said, we used the cheat codes to finish it.
like,
Yeah. Like I said, then when cheat codes became a thing with the internet, it was like, okay, now we can start doing these things a little bit easier. And that's how, I started getting into, reading the online websites, that used to talk about the different games and stuff like Mortal Kombat. They had their own website called like, Mortal Kombat Online. Trust me, when that first came out, I was like, wow, like it went all the way back to the first one all the way up to the most recent one, which at the time, the last one that they had was Armageddon. And that was like, what, 2006?
I didn't even know about that website.
Trust me, if it was still up, I would show you. But yeah, they had a website where they even, like I said, with the first Mortal Kombat, which was like Sega Saturn, and different things like that, they didn't even have the little book. Well, they had the booklet, but it didn't have like a command list. That's what I'm thinking of, a command list. This website would teach you the command list, fatalities, and different stuff like stage fatalities, like the pit. And I was like, wow. Like the internet, when we first
Buying those
discovered it.
books. You remember the cheat code books, the real thick ones you used to buy from the store?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those and magazines.
Yeah, the magazine.
Like, yeah. As I'm saying, they would update you on what's coming out. What's so special about this game? How's it related to the last game? Where the story picks up, stuff like that. Yeah, I know those books you're talking about.
Speaking of which, you brought up a good point. Back to the cartoon. Nick actually had a magazine that I think came out weekly. I don't know if you remember it or not, but it was like a magazine.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. I wish I subscribed to that because, like I said, they would always do the commercials, and oh my god, '90s commercials. There's just so many.
We're gonna get into the commercials also, so y'all be prepared for that because we're gonna bring up like hit y'all in your feels for real. A lot of people forget these commercials.
Like I said, cereal commercials, toy commercials, or just stuff related to TV, like coming up next, bumpers.
But I don't even think they do that anymore. At least not how they used to.
No. Groovies, the movies and the music videos that you get into where they had a song that went with, little highlights of the show that you were watching, different things. Oh my God, they made Groovies. My God. Yo. I'm just saying.
I mean, commercials are cool now, but it's because like there's still some creative commercials out there, but now it's more just like cut and dry. You got a few out the field commercials, but back then, all the commercials are like beautifully made. Like you could tell they put thought and heart into it. Like they wanted to gravitate towards the viewer.
They know how to sell.
And now everything is all corny and like,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like corporate America now. That's all it is. They just want to sell a product.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And heck, you don't even get a commercial. You just get ads that pop up on these streaming channels right at the climax of where you want it to stop. Where you want to continue, rather.
You get it's on YouTube videos now, like in the middle of the video.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Those little yellow lines that you get in between. Trust me, I hated them. Well, I still do, but
I would hate growing up on those, man. Like, I feel it's kind of bad for these kids. They probably don't think of it as anything, but like compared to what we had, you got to think, man. We came out so much more fortunate, even like without BC, before cell phones.
Right before cell phones.
I don't know what they call AD, but I'm gonna think of something. But
AD, after digital, I don't know.
After digital, okay. I like that.
After DVD, after, I don't know, after what, the magic died? I don't know what to tell you.
After dumb, whole generation. They're good with technology, but they're stupid with social skills, man.
As I'm saying, smartphone, dumb kids. Yeah, trust me. I heard that in the movie, truthfully.
Can't build a conversation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And you know what the strange thing about it is with social media, you got like all these different followers, and truth be told, you only know maybe like three off the back of your head, like the back of my hand, really.
That's exactly why I made a new. I mean, I made a new one because I got banned from my page for 30 days for saying something I guess Facebook didn't like. I forgot what it was verbatim, but you know, Facebook's real
That's
simple,
what I'm saying.
so you
All
can't.
those little guidelines and everything like that. Like I said, we wanted to talk straight. You just call them up on the phone when you had the house phone and whatnot.
Oh, the house phone, man, that takes me back too.
I know, for real. That's what I'm saying. And everybody was expecting a call, and you had a time limit of how long you could be on the phone, and
Yup.
somebody was expecting somebody to call. That's what I'm saying. Trust me, it was a different time back then. Or if you wanted to get on the internet.
Oh yeah, that too. The internet
Yeah.
thing for us. I remember downloading LimeWire and Kazaa just to download music. I mean, it was illegal.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I didn't care. It was just like for me, it was just like I get free music. That's all I thought of. And buying CD,
Yeah.
that was a good feeling too. You can't even buy a CD anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You had the radio instead of, MP3 players and heck, just the cell phone now. I don't even see that many MP3 players out anymore.
I think I might still have one, but I had to literally go digging for it. I'm pretty sure I have a Walkman player too. I still have a
Yeah,
CD.
that's what I'm
They
saying.
can call me old if they want, but I still love buying. It's a select few places you can still buy CDs from, not including Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah, but even then, Walmart's getting smaller by the day. And heck, back before CDs, what they had records.
Yeah, they had the vinyl records. I think that's getting big now. I see a lot of vinyl records in Walmart.
Yeah, back then, you would use those if you wanted to DJ a party when you were MC or something, you could scratch on them. You could, press the buttons to kind of auto tune this or bring up the bass. It was a science with the music back
Yeah,
then. Now you can
and
just press a button.
that's it. You play the whole song.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, for real.
So with
Yeah.
these services, artists are losing money, actors are losing money. I mean,
Gotcha.
show writers. I don't want to say they're losing money because they still get income in different ways, but it sucks when your artist has to go touring or the writer has to sign a deal with this company and that company to sponsor a show, and it's just so much that goes into it. It makes you not even want to like be an entertainer. That's like your aspiration. It's like, dang, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this independently.
Like I said, like me and you, like I said, you're mostly into music. They know you as Ricky Runnit. Me, I'm more of an actor. I go by Ace Master J. So, like I said, and I write for myself. And, my style of writing is kind of, I try to play more on an old school kind of level, but old school with a new twist or just something I wouldn't know how to describe it. Like bringing the old school up to today's standards, which
Like,
is really what they
yeah,
try to do with reboots.
yeah, just bridging the
You
gap
know,
a bit, but keeping it relatable for everybody without losing your own style.
right?
That's what I try
Like I
to.
said, all these new shows, they got a new way.
They do. I like that they're coming with a new way if it's a new show because maybe that's how it should be for this new generation. But as far as like the old show
Yeah,
with, they need to leave that alone. Even with
yeah.
the
Like I said,
music.
remakes, reboots. Oh
Exactly.
yeah, new music. You know what? You're absolutely right. Because like I said, you do most music and whatnot. So yeah, they do a lot of remakes of songs or covers now, as they call them, and whatnot. And heck, TikTok is now taking music and they doing something with it. I don't know what to call it. I don't even know what to call it music all the time. But
They're breaking a lot of
yeah.
art, but it's like for the wrong reasons, man. You know, even
And
since
that's
he made a remake of the Thong song back in like 20. No, it was actually this year. He made a remake of the Thong song. No, nobody want to hear no 40-something-year-old man talk about a thong, the thong, 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 and thinking he's gonna break. Like, that's not.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, old school trying to, just fit in with the new school. There's a certain type of way you gotta make that transition, so to
He had
speak.
to
Let's put it like that.
make it different. He made the beat more like trap like. Like he should have just made a
Yeah.
whole new song with maybe like a new little twist for the new generation, but don't remake the Thong song. Don't mess up a classic, man.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know,
That's what I'm
same
saying. It was
thing with
never broke.
remake. Yeah, things just changed so much. Like you remember, I don't know, it's like 2011. They came up with a new Looney Tunes. I didn't like the remake.
I remember that. I definitely remember that. I liked it for the first 1 or 2 episodes, only because it was Looney Tunes. But then after that, kind of seeing it for what it was, I was like, yeah, they should have left it where it was at and
Yeah,
just, you know, older
like I
episodes.
said, yeah, all these remakes like Looney Tunes, Scooby Doo. Like how many Scooby Doos can the man? I mean, the dog's been working 60 to 80 years, man. Can't the poor dog just lie? Just let him lie.
Fred don't even look like Freddy no more.
Oh
The,
my
the
God.
latest
And the
Freddy,
way they look, Shaggy. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They look so different now from what they look like. You take a picture of Shaggy back when Scooby Doo came out, that was even before us, you know? And then compared to the new one, you see just the difference in just, where things are today as to where they were. And it's like, wow, man, time really changes a lot of things.
it does, man. It's like it changes it too much. I mean, it's good because like I'm all about progression and everything, but it's like maybe what's better to us isn't necessarily better to the younger kids, I guess, and they just want to appeal to the younger generation. But I just
I
wish.
mean, and they should part with child, stuff, yeah. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, I wish like this generation would have better taste. That's all. It's
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. But, like I said, I'm pretty sure back in the day when we were watching our stuff, I'm sure there were a few adults that probably thought our stuff wasn't exactly the same as theirs because,
I don't know. My stepdad loves all the '90s. He was born back in 1970, and he loves all the '90s. I think that's his favorite era, to be honest. That and of course the Tex Avery era and everything. That's what he grew up on. But he's a huge fan of Ed, and Eddie, Johnny Bravo, Dexter, Powerpuff, all the good stuff. Like he liked it just as much
I
as
mean,
it was in the Boomerang. So I think we had the best era, if you ask me.
yeah, because like I said, what we considered the golden era, but there's so many golden eras, out on social media now. It's like, you don't even know which generation. You got to specify your golden era as opposed to others these days. So, like I
Exactly.
said, for us, our golden era was the 90s. So, I mean, that's just, it is what it is to us, you know.
And that's what this whole retro roundtable is about. We're just giving you guys like a piece of what we love, a piece of what we know you guys love, or what y'all should have loved. So just to kind of give a blast from the past, a little refresher. Just because I know on YouTube and different platforms they cover a lot of '90s things, but some of these shows aren't really talked about or specified. I don't think a lot of these shows or writers or actors, voice actors, get enough credit for what they've done. So that's
Like I
basically
said,
what
yeah. Animators, like, yeah, the roll call. Like I said, I want to do the roll call, like get a few people, if nothing else, like we could do one big roll call episode and then we could just hit, maybe two or three people. Cause I mean, there's just so many that really contributed to that time period. And it's like, a lot of those people either go unnoticed or, you know, they're no longer here or they're dying out. Like I guess, like you said, Muriel, Theo White, she just passed, like literally not yesterday, but the day before.
we're gonna keep her
And it's
legacy.
like, yeah.
Oh, I gotta send you this picture of some fan of Courage. I guess she made some artwork with Muriel, like in heaven, saying something to Courage. I gotta send you the picture, but it was dope. I liked it.
I saw that.
Battery is
I
going.
saw that picture.
So
It was on Facebook. Yeah, I saw that picture.
yeah. Oh, you saw it already?
Yeah. Yeah, cause they had two pictures that really caught my eye. There was that one, and then there was Courage and Eustace over at Muriel's grave and whatnot. They had a picture of that I saw today. I don't know if I saved it but I'm definitely going to look into it. You know. Oh, did I lose you? I think I might have lost my co-host, folks. Give me a second. Or he might be looking something up now. So let me see. Yeah, I think I lost my co-host for a second. Okay. I just got a message that his phone is dying a little bit. Yeah, I got mine on the charger too. I mean, it's all right. Worst case scenario, like I said, today's episode was mostly just to go over some things that we, went like what we saw back in the day, stuff that we did in the 90s, different shows, different, just the whole era as itself. That's why I call it like the nostalgic 90s and whatnot. So I tell you what, since we're losing power here, I think this probably would be a good time to wrap it up. But yeah, we're going to save this video and I'm going to put it on my profile. That way we can try to put this out on YouTube. That way you can see, our conversation as it goes. And we'll keep you up to date with when we're going to go live and whatnot. So, thanks again for those who got to see us live. And, hopefully we get to see some more people out there. So, yeah, if you can like, share, do whatever you want to do, because like I said, today is more of a pilot, just testing things out till we get this round table kind of, on its feet. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And again, I'm Ace Master J. People who know me as John, John Gross, and my partner, Ricky Runnit, who y'all know is Glenn Burns. Thank you again for joining us, and stay tuned. Stay tuned.